Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I appreciate all of you guys that have been watching my videos. In this video, we'll be talking about how to use commas. There are several ways that a comma can be used. In this video, I'll be going over the most common ways that a comma is used. For starters, what is a comma? A comma is a punctuation mark that separates words, phrases, or ideas in a sentence. Commas are also used to indicate short pauses. In this video, I'll be elaborating on specific instances where a comma should be used. A comma can be used before a coordinating conjunction to separate two clauses. Coordinating conjunctions are used to join words or phrases. Fanboys is the acronym we use to help us remember the 7 coordinating conjunctions. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Commas being used to separate two clauses. So our first example says, I went to the circus, comma, and I saw a creepy clown. So as you can see, I went to the circus is one clause, and I saw a creepy clown is another clause. So before we added the and, we put a comma after circus, and then we added the and to separate the two clauses. Our second example says, I'm scared of bugs, comma, but I do like butterflies. As you can see, I'm scared of bugs is one clause, and I do like butterflies is another clause, so we added the comma before but to separate the two. Commas can be used to separate words in a list, more than 2 words to be exact. Our first example says, I like eating candy, cake, cookies, and pie. As you can see, we're listing more than 2 items, so we need to add a comma, commas. Our second example says, for my birthday, I want clothes, shoes, a new car, and a dog. As you can see, we're listing more than 2 things, so it's necessary that we use commas. Commas can be used after introductory adverbs or adverb phrases. So what's an adverb? An adverb describes a verb, which is an action word, an adjective, which describes a noun or another adverb. Adverbs are words like quickly, happily, slowly, closely, loudly, quietly, etc. An adverb phrase is 2 or more words that function like an adverb to modify other words in a sentence, such as verbs, adjectives, or adverbs. Here are some adverb phrases: running extremely quickly, talking extremely loudly, and moving very slowly, etc. So here are some examples of commas being used after introductory adverbs or adverb phrases. So our first example says, unfortunately, I'm sick, so I won't be attending the event. As you can see, unfortunately is the adverb, so we need to use a comma after it. Our second example says, running extremely quickly, she was able to catch the bus. As you can see, running extremely quickly is an adverb phrase, so we need to make sure we're putting a comma after the complete adverb phrase. Commas can be used when quoting someone. Our first example says, leave me alone, comma, she said. As you can see, there's a comma in between the quoted text and she said. Our second example says, turn your book to page 50, said the teacher. As you can see, there's a comma in between what the teacher said and said the teacher. Commas can be used when writing dates. So our first example says, today is Friday, comma, April 25th, comma, 2025. As you can see, the commas are being used to indicate pauses as opposed to just saying today is Friday, April 25th, 2025. Our second example says, I was born April 5th, 2005. As you can see, we put the comma after April 5th to indicate a short pause. Commas can be used to separate cities from states or when writing an address. Our first example says, I was born in Seattle, comma, Washington. As you can see, the comma indicates a pause after saying Seattle. Our second example says, my address is 5555 South 56th Street, comma, San Diego, California, comma, and then it says the zip code. Commas can be used when addressing someone. Our first example says, Sally, comma, I need you to do me a favor, please. As you can see, putting a comma after Sally's name indicates that there's a pause before we say, I need you to do me a favor, please. Our second example says, John, comma, why didn't you answer my call yesterday? So the comma after John's name indicates we're pausing before we ask our question. Commas can be used between consecutive adjectives that modify the same noun. An adjective describes a noun, which is a person, place, or thing. Here are some adjectives: yellow, small, ugly, tall, fancy, cute, happy, and so on. And I'll put some examples on the next slide. So our first example says, I saw a small, comma, ugly dog when I was at the park. As you can see, small and ugly are both adjectives, so we're using the comma to separate the two. Our second example says, today I'm wearing my fuzzy, comma, colorful boots. As you can see, fuzzy and colorful are both adjectives, so we're using a comma to separate the two. Commas can be used after a dependent clause that comes at the beginning of the sentence. So what is a dependent clause? A dependent clause, also known as a subordinate clause, is not a complete sentence. It has a subject and a verb. It's used to add more info to a sentence. It relies on the main clause, also known as independent clause, to become a full sentence. Examples of dependent clauses. So our first example says, when I was a teenager, comma, I liked playing soccer. As you can see, when I was a teenager is the dependent clause because it's relying on I like playing soccer to become a full sentence. And we also put the comma in between when I was a teenager and I like playing soccer. Our second example says, after we went to the party, comma, we hung out at the park. As you can see, after we went to the party is the dependent clause, and we put the comma after the dependent clause. Commas can be used to separate appositives from the rest of the sentence. So what is an appositive? An appositive is a noun that sits next to another noun to rename it. Also provides more info about the noun it refers to. In the example, my dog, comma, a black chihuahua is very loud and annoying. A black chihuahua is the appositive because it's giving you more information about the noun, which is the dog. Commas can be used when writing numbers bigger than 999. There is some exceptions, like when you're writing years or addresses. So our first example says, my credit limit is $3,000. As you can see, this number is bigger than 999, so we used a comma. Our second example says, my favorite number is 1,000. As you can see, 1,000 is a number bigger than 999, so we put a comma in 1,000. Commas can be used when answering yes or no before continuing a thought. So our first example says, yes, comma, I will be attending the event. So if someone asks me, hey, are you attending the event? I would respond with yes, comma, I will be attending the event. Our second example says, no, comma, I don't like eating seafood. So if someone asks me, do you like eating seafood? My response would be no, comma, I don't like eating seafood. I wouldn't actually say comma though. Commas can be used to elaborate on something you said. Our first example says, I like eating candy, comma, not sour candy though. As you can see, we're specifying what kind of candy we don't like. Our second example says, I want something to drink, comma, preferably water. As you can see, we're elaborating on what we want to drink. So we don't just want something to drink, we would prefer water. So we added the comma after drink to indicate a short pause. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this video informative. If you did find this video informative, please feel free to like, comment, or all of the above, and I'll see you next time.